Sometimes the biggest clue isn't what someone says, it's what they don't say. That's exactly the unsettling energy taking over General Hospital after Ethan's reaction to Brook Lynn's shocking news left Port Charles with more questions than answers, because Ethan didn't react the way anyone expected. Not angry enough, not shocked enough, not emotional enough. And now fans are asking one chilling question. What does Ethan already know? General Hospital just turned Ethan's reaction to Brook Lynn's news into a bigger mystery. In Port Charles, reactions matter just as much as revelations, sometimes more. A confession can be dramatic, a secret can be explosive. But the emotional response to those moments often reveals the deeper truth hidden underneath the surface. That is exactly what appears to be happening with Ethan and Brook Lynn. Brook Lynn's news should have created clarity. Instead, it created uncertainty, because Ethan's reaction did not feel straightforward. It felt controlled, measured, almost as if he was processing something far bigger than the audience fully understands. And now, what should have been a simple emotional moment has transformed into something much more dangerous. A mystery. Brook Lynn's news. The emotional trigger. Brook Lynn Quartermain has become central to several emotionally layered storylines recently, largely because her decisions carry emotional consequences that ripple outward across Port Charles. Her latest revelation was expected to provoke strong reactions. Shock. Confusion, possibly anger. Instead, Ethan's response created an entirely different atmosphere. An atmosphere built not on emotional explosion, but on restraint. And restraint, in General Hospital, is often more suspicious than chaos. Ethan's reaction. What felt off? Ethan Lovett did not react in a way that felt emotionally complete. That matters, because audiences instinctively recognize emotional imbalance. When someone receives major news and responds too calmly, too carefully, or too strategically, suspicion immediately emerges. Ethan's behavior raised several questions. Was he expecting this? Does he know more than he revealed? Is he hiding his real feelings? Or is he protecting someone? The lack of emotional transparency becomes the mystery itself. Why silence creates suspense? In soap storytelling, silence is rarely empty. It carries meaning. When Ethan pauses instead of reacting emotionally, the audience begins searching for explanation. Because silence suggests thoughtfulness, internal conflict, hidden information, emotional suppression, and all of those possibilities create tension. The difference between shock and recognition. One of the most interesting aspects of Ethan's reaction is that it felt less like discovery and more like recognition. That distinction changes everything. Shock implies new information. Recognition implies prior awareness. If Ethan reacted with recognition instead of surprise, it suggests the possibility that he suspected something already. He was emotionally prepared. Or he may even have independent knowledge connected to the situation. And suddenly, Brook Lynn's revelation becomes only part of a much larger narrative. The psychology of controlled emotion. People often associate emotional control with strength, but in dramatic storytelling, emotional control can also signal concealment. Ethan's calmness may indicate fear of revealing too much, a deliberate attempt to manage perception. Emotional conflict he does not want visible. This creates psychological complexity because viewers are no longer just analyzing the revelation, they are analyzing Ethan himself. Why this storyline suddenly feels bigger. Originally, Brook Lynn's news may have seemed like the central event, but Ethan's reaction shifted the focus. Now the audience is asking not only, what does this news mean? But also, what is Ethan hiding? That transition expands the storyline dramatically, because hidden reactions often lead to hidden truths. Mystery through emotion instead of action. One reason this arc works so well is because the mystery is emotional rather than procedural. There is no crime scene, no obvious clue, no direct evidence. Instead, The mystery emerges through behavior, through expression, through hesitation. And emotional mysteries are often more compelling because they feel personal. Ethan's history matters. Ethan's emotional history in Port Charles makes this reaction especially significant. He is not a character who exists without emotional complexity. His past includes loyalty conflicts, emotional vulnerability, difficult personal decisions, situations requiring emotional restraint. Because of that history, audiences know Ethan is capable of hiding deeper feelings beneath controlled behavior. Brook Lynn's position in the dynamic. Brook Lynn's role becomes more complicated as a result of Ethan's response, because if Ethan knows more than he is revealing, it changes her position too. Questions begin to emerge. Does Brook Lynn suspect Ethan's reaction is unusual? Is she aware of something he knows? Or is she also being kept in the dark? This uncertainty increases tension between them. The importance of emotional timing. Timing is critical in scenes like this. Ethan's reaction happened immediately after emotionally significant information was revealed. That means every hesitation becomes magnified. Every pause feels intentional, and intentional pauses create speculation. Because audiences instinctively believe, if he reacted that way, there must be a reason. The possibility of hidden knowledge. The strongest theory created by Ethan's behavior is hidden knowledge. Perhaps he already knew part of the truth, suspected something earlier, heard information elsewhere, or connected clues before anyone else. This possibility transforms Ethan from passive participant into active mystery holder, and that role changes the narrative completely. Emotional distance as narrative clue. Ethan's emotional distance also matters. Instead of immediate emotional vulnerability, there was restraint, distance, calculation. That emotional separation feels deliberate, and deliberate emotional separation almost always signals unresolved internal conflict. The ripple effect across Port Charles. Once a reaction feels suspicious, it affects everyone around it. Other characters may begin noticing Ethan's unusual calmness, inconsistencies in his behavior, hesitation in his responses, and once others begin asking questions, the mystery expands, because secrets rarely stay internal in Port Charles. The tension between truth and perception. One of the most compelling themes here is the difference between what is true and what appears true. Ethan's reaction may not actually indicate deception, but perception matters. If people perceive him as hiding something, tension increases regardless of reality. And perception often drives drama more effectively than facts. Why audiences love this kind of mystery? Viewers become deeply invested in emotional mysteries because they invite participation. The audience starts analyzing facial expressions, dialogue choices, pauses, tone shifts. This interactive experience strengthens engagement because viewers feel like they are uncovering clues alongside the characters. The emotional stakes for Ethan. If Ethan is hiding something, the emotional burden could be significant. Keeping secrets creates pressure, especially when emotions are involved. He may be struggling with fear of exposure, guilt, conflicting loyalties, desire to protect someone. Those internal conflicts add depth to his character. Brook Lynn's revelation may not be the real story. An interesting possibility is that Brook Lynn's news was never intended to be the final revelation. Instead, it may have functioned as a trigger, a catalyst exposing deeper emotional dynamics already in motion. If so, Ethan's reaction becomes more important than the news itself, and that inversion creates excellent dramatic tension. The role of audience suspicion. Once viewers suspect hidden meaning, everything Ethan does becomes significant. Future scenes gain extra tension because audiences will watch for slips in behavior, emotional cracks, contradictions. That sustained suspense keeps the storyline active even during quieter moments. Samt driving the storyline. Several powerful themes shape this arc. Reaction versus revelation. Sometimes responses reveal more than the original news. Truth versus concealment. Ethan's emotional restraint suggests hidden layers beneath the surface. Perception versus reality. What viewers believe Ethan's reaction means may become just as important as the truth itself. Why Ethan works so well in this storyline. Ethan is particularly effective in emotionally mysterious storylines because he naturally projects layered emotion. He can appear calm yet conflicted, honest yet guarded, emotionally present yet internally distant. That ambiguity creates dramatic flexibility, and flexibility strengthens mystery-driven storytelling, the possibility of future fallout. If Ethan truly knows more than he revealed, eventual exposure becomes inevitable, and when hidden truths emerge in Port Charles, fallout spreads quickly. Potential consequences include damaged trust, in emotional confrontation, relationship shifts, new alliances or conflicts. The longer the mystery builds, the bigger the eventual payoff becomes.